Hello. I haven't recorded anything for a while, so bear with me. But here we have a new Model 3 and we're doing a bonnet. Haven't really set up camera properly yet, but... Right, so the panel's been fully prepped. I have masking tape on edges. Clean prep. Cutting off some vinyl. So this bonnet is actually fairly small, 1.3 meters. And it's going in APA candy blue. For now, color looks amazing. We'll see how it looks once done. So we'll tack it on for now so we can align it. I don't like to have these corners stick out like that, so I chop them off. So this is APA vinyl, and as a feature, sometimes it's a bit of annoyance. It has a liner. So before install, I tend to take it off. And it's essentially liners there to protect vinyl in transit. Obviously, once we have to apply it, it's not pliable, you can't stretch it. So unless the panel is really flat, you do have to remove it. Right, here's how it looks. So normally, the way I do it, I don't like to peel the whole panel because then it sticks to everything you want it and you don't want it. You know, it's fairly thick. So I normally start from one side. Get it to about halfway, do one side first, and then do the other side. Alright, half is done. So I don't know if you can see it on camera. The color on this is just crazy. Very highly metallic candy color. And obviously you don't want to scratch it. So we're using quick detailer and the new buffer. That allows squeegee to glide on the surface easily and reduces a risk of scratching the material. So when I'm removing paper, I try to kind of go and pull it nice and steady one way, because then it creates flat area. I am being a little bit cautious with this material because I haven't worked with this particular. I've worked with APA, but I haven't worked with the candy. Alright. Now we're doing curve. So the heater's gonna kick in. I will have to mute this bit. Oh, before it kicks in. So the one half is done and the material is curved with the bonnet that way. So if I try to hold it flat, it'll have either fingers or bunching up. So what I can do is, if I hold it vertically up and go with a squeegee in the curve, essentially making curve that way, I can actually go fairly far without me needing to readjust. See how far I can get. So this way it follows the curve really nicely. Most of the time you need to hold material as close to panel as possible, but in some instances on curves it's actually much easier to hold the vinyl vertically up. And that's pretty much it. No use of a heat gun, just where you manipulate the material in place. That's it. Alright, so for the edges and corners I will need a heat gun, micro squeegee, and we'll see how this material behaves on the corners. So let's stick corner in, hold it, a bit of heat to relax the sides, and squeeze it away from the corner. Okay. Fairly thick film. And soften it up a little bit. To get it down. And the main idea is just to squeegee away from the corner. Right, let's do the back edge. That's towards windscreen. And then we can open and finish off the front. Yeah, normally start with bonnet. It's a big panel. First of all, I like to start with bigger panels to get them out of the way. But then it's a big enough surface to see how it's going to look. Essentially, I'm just impatient and I like to see not a finished product, but as I said, this way you can see more or less how it's going to look. Right, so with this bonnet, both of these corners, from about there, once you lift up the bonnet, they go behind the wings. So you can't really, it's no easy access to get the trim material. So on these initial bits, I'm doing the same way as I'm doing the back edge. Essentially wrap just far enough so you don't see it. And then get the blade under. Hello? Get the blade under and cut along the edge. So on the front I wouldn't do it because there is a potential if you'll catch the edge it might lift. So on the front I wrap it a bit deeper, but you can't really stick your fingers in there to get to it to damage it, so that's why. Alright, might have done a bit too far, but yeah, good enough. Right, my favourite way of finishing off the front edge. I normally wrap around either to the body line where the top meets the underside, or at least few mil beyond the edge. That way when you're opening the bonnet, you don't catch an open edge. So essentially use heat gun to soften the material, and then to go left and right and go further and further in. Here's how it looks up close. So it's wrapped at least 5 mil. Then where it goes to the bottom, once it's closed, essentially from there, I'm going to see it. Then sharp blade, steady hand, get away. Now this is done, heat the edges, and it's ready.